Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever una dey, any part of the world. This is Mohammed Shilon coming to una from America. My co-host, Ms. Fatima Savage, will join us later. So welcome back, everybody. Last week will not be whole we broadcast because we'll be getting major holiday. We'll get Labor Day holiday, when a big holiday in America. So the activities are planned by a lot of people. So it's hard for stay home. So since that be holiday weekend, or even though the holiday was on a Monday, but it was, the activity started from the Friday, goes all the way through Monday. So Sunday was part of the holiday weekend. So last week we'll not do that erasure now and then. This week, as soon as there are so many things going on in our country now. There is always a lot for report, a lot for discuss, a lot for think about. So we'll get, now we showed today, the main topic will be the registration in preparation for the election next year and some of the irregularities where we see they take place. And the irregularities are not uniform, meaning within the irregularities in the east and part of the country, not to the same type of irregularity in the western part or the northern part of the country. So indications are there are some deliberate manipulation or some invisible hands in the processing of the of registration for the election. So we get for talk about that, let everybody give their own opinion and tell what you think and how they see them. This not get nothing to do with whether you pro-government or anti-government. It's just a matter of which are your observation and which are your opinion. We also, in view of the recent passing or death of the Queen of England, and Sierra Leone being a former British colony, and a British colony since I were 3 or 4 years old. I mean, when I say British colony, under the Queen, under the recent Queen Elizabeth, I was about 3 years or so older, or maybe 4 at the most, when she became Queen of England. And so since then, she's been there that long. Here am I in my 70s. And she just died a few days ago. So she's been there a long time. So that may be the only Queen of England I will ever know in my lifetime. You know, then we just want to talk about the process, the immediate ascension to the throne by Prince Charles, now King Charles III. So the procedure and some of the things we get for learn, and the appointment of the new Prime Minister of England, and some of our historic appointments of blacks of African or West African descent. So we need to discuss all that in there and just see how much we can deduct, deduce, extrapolate, whatever word you want to use, as a positive example of how we on government then for the make appointments. Enough will be based on tribe, if we're based on intellectual fitness. And when I talk about intellectual fitness, not a big degree in a wall. And I mean nothing. Now, waiting that degree they can produce for the country, now we care about, not for graduate first class honors, but you can, you know, the honors first class where you get is not any better than the paper where they write them on. But we want first class honors where go make a difference in the country, where go help for add to the intellectual power what we need for move the country forward. So we will get for talk about that. So now we also go get for when we start the program in terms of talking about topics, which we are not start yet. We'll go open the video and the calling lines, So anybody can feel welcome to call in while I'm in the midst of making me commentary. So that said, make me just bring our attention to some of the numbers them. What would I need for call in case you get, or let me remind you now all with the listening, some of you will not be listening before because we get regular listeners them. Some of you are way not familiar with the process. This is a live show. So waiting at the say now, or waiting I go say if you call in and get asked question or comments, that would be live calling, and the response will be live. So everything not for ask now, you get a answer later. So please feel free. We allot 3 minutes to anyone who calls, just for make them able for say what you need for say. If the 3 minutes is not long enough for you, because we'll give you an extra 15 seconds. So in a 3 minutes, 15 seconds. If the 3 minutes, 15 seconds not long enough for you, please work with we when the buzzer goes off, because we'll get a buzzer we will tell you, say you timed up, finish. So please work with we, try for wrap up your comment or your question, and you can call back. So other people are waiting on hold, not go hold too long. I mean, it's okay if not one person more day on hold after you. But if you get like 10 people there, and that person you get number 9, number 8, if you not try for think of them wanting for ask question, before you know it, somebody will be holding for about an hour. We'll try to avoid that. So they will just work together. If the 3 minutes run out, the 15 seconds extra run out, please just call back so you can be at the back of the line while we keep moving the callers them forward, okay? And so we appreciate our cooperation in that respect, because people have been doing exactly that. And we thank you very, very, very much. Now, some of the numbers then for call, we will go like for lay when I know but we'll get various numbers. We'll get toll-free number when 1-866-944-7722. 1-866-944-7722. And also, if you call from the United Kingdom, now plus 44 20 80 89 1455. 20 plus 44 20 80 89 1455. Like I say one more time, if you call from the United Kingdom, it will be plus 44 20 80 89 1455. If you call from Australia, it will be plus 61 29 09 84 337. From Australia, it will be plus 61 29 09 84 337. And of course, when I'm calling the WhatsApp line, now 1-343-997-5828. 1-343-997-5828. In addition to that, when I go see we on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube. So maybe YouTube, I don't go see we live, but in a matter of hours, we may be, it will be ready to be seen on YouTube. So these are some of the areas they want to go for. And some people can also ask me for give them the link. So as far as I know, the link now Voice of Salone .com. You know, so if I want to forget all the one in there, just check that. And we're also on Twitter, you know, so you can find we almost everywhere. So that said, make me tell you what you need. The main topic today could be this registration for election and waiting to go on and how to avoid that, and how people in the field, and for try to make sure, say, we lead us them, the opposition leaders or the oppositions, the government, then for the hold themselves to a high level of standard, we then for make sure, say, people not forget the feeling, say, they have to hurt other people for voting not for involve violence at all. Now for those go cast a piece of paper, now a ballot box, for who that you choose, say, now you want. You're not going to fetch another person not going to fetch you for that. So we want to make sure, say, people understand that. Okay? So I hope the leaders themselves go act responsibly, because we don't see what happened August 10th, when problem take place at the street because people then demonstrate. Government, they point hands to the opposition, say they're responsible. The opposition, even though they not vehemently defend themselves, but the opposition, they say the government is responsible. People then they say the police overreact, they use excessive force, will provoke other people then for react in a retaliatory manner, will lead to the death of certain people. There is some people then say people then kill police, which we all see, unfortunately, that police officers then lost their life. Some people are claiming some police officers may have lost their lives as a result of friendly fire, because these officers, even though they're giving guns, but they're not highly trained, they are just trained to shoot at a group of people, and you never know that the bullet will hit. Of course, you get the police officers, then the government say people they just take upon themselves for become violent. So there is this back and forth accusation of where the true cause was for the unfortunate outcome of a demonstration that started off peacefully for the first 2 days. But we will learn from that. And of course, there is what you call residual effect of that demonstration, because the government strong-heartedly and extrajudicially, meaning out of the ordinary course of legal proceedings, you get certain people in way of the government. We go house to house, arrest certain people and detain them, and they're still being detained. And in fact, the word is that some of these people were transported as far as Kujenu from Freetown area. Well, as I always remind people, you know, forever look at in the sense that when these things happen, oh, you say I'm a party in the power, then can do that. You enable a party for do wrong, because nobody should be arrested and transported from the jurisdiction where you commit the crime to a remote area where you don't even know. And for all we know, some of these people may be going through what we call in law coerced confession, because if you and some of these people might even be going through torturing. So everybody confesses, almost everyone confesses to a crime you are innocent of if you're being tortured. So, and the word is that some of these people are being deprived of being of access to legal defense. You know, the problem with that, and these are the same for the legal itself, we have a lot of problem with in Australia, because the profession for stand firm, you are not supporting someone because he is APC or SFPP. That's not the point. Not to that the representation is based on. The problem is if you allow the government for prevent lawyers them from talking to the client, and allow the government for unscrupulously torture, oppress, coerce people and for make confession against their own interests without legal representation, the lawyers should be trained enough, well enough. In America, the first thing a good defense attorney could do is to file a motion to suppress, because you could claim, say, any admission that your client made was made in a coerced circumstance, meaning he was pressured, he was tortured, and for alleviate or for try for prevent continuation of that process, he confessed to a crime that he may be innocent of. So we are all doing the country a lot of good when we speak for the poor, when we speak for the unrepresented. We are not doing the country a lot of good when you help government. Government don't need help. They don't get all the power. So the 10 women at the defense attorney, as a young lawyer, what I normally would do for educate the jury in a criminal jury trial, for me to take seriously the responsibility of the job, I always try for illustrate how powerful the government is. So as a defense attorney, I don't know how much trial techniques then they teach with lawyers them back home, because I don't know even the one way they teach the lawyers them how much experience or trial experience they get for teach upcoming lawyers them. But I know, say, I try cases in the most sophisticated country in the world, which is the United States of America. And I did a lot of jury trials. And by the way, at the talk, when I can say me a Salone man. So I think it's 10 times more difficult when you're a foreigner, you're a black man. In these United States, you go to before a jury of almost white jury, and then they're able to make a persuasive case before them. So normally what you can do, I can try to explain to them why then for take the accusation and the trial seriously. And the reason why make you get for do that is I can point out, I say the judge, you see the judge sitting here, he works for the government. You see the bailiffs then at the court, they work for the government. You see the prosecutor, he works for the government. The jury, now the only people where deny for be objective, because even the government to some extent get for pay for una time or una take for come, but una to work for the government. But this is a privilege for una for come for seat and hearing accusation and evidence presented against una company citizen. When I get this wonderful power, where even the judge will sit down so before we not get. The judge will only exercise in power like a referee in a sporting match. We will call foul as the game to go. We will call certain things them that we're not authorized for do. So in a trial, you get lawyers and we say objection and we say this, the judge, they'll go through that. But if we're not the jury, we're listen to the evidence, when I come, when I find the person not guilty, this judge will sit on a house so not get the power for overruling her. That's it. You get for let them know what's in an enroll. And you get for make them also understand, say, the purpose of all this is that if you just believe the police, everything they say, because they're not police, remember, all you to do is just to give them power, what they go use against you, against your loved one, against anybody else. So this courtroom, the courtroom is a level playing field. Now, the defendant, if you look around, they get one person number what they talk for them, and what the government they pay, and that's not me. The only thing we make this man a defendant, they don't call him a convict yet, not because of me. But me, your job is for make sure, say, when I see this man in a different light from which in the prosecution will try for customers. And then when we don't make that presentation to Tuna, it left Tuna for decide what in una want for decide. So you get for try for educate people them. So in that sense, people are still getting confused. We not still understand the limitations of constitutional rights. will not still know, say, certain statements, actions are allowable or tolerant because we get a thing called constitution. But what's in a constitution? Constitution are just a piece of paper where they put a law. Then say, the law say, and mostly against the government. This is what people I can always emphasize. Constitutions mostly not a restriction or for guard against the excesses of the government, not for the individuals. Then. It's mostly what government cannot do. And government meaning the executive, the president and in group, the legislature, parliament, the constitution, they tell them all how far they can go, how far they're not supposed to go. Because the reason for that is not so people can misunderstand the constitution. You know, we the ordinary people and we activities are governed by what you call statutory law. You know, then tell you say 8 o'clock if you put your light on, not your constitutional right down there, now statute. You know, then when they say you thief or you trespass, this all a statute to govern that, not the constitution. But most constitution mostly get restrictions on the government in power because government extremely powerful. The only in power where the ordinary person get for feedback, now where you listen, where you argue a constitutional issue. So the problem we will go through now, even where educated people, them, even people in the judiciary, because of the lack of exposure to constitutional issues, and then still not understand, say, certain statements what people make, then get the right for maker as much as you know go like what they say. And but we still they say, then they refer to certain people then because you tell people and say, go out, go protest, then say, terrorism down there. No, it's not. Then say, incitement down there. No, it's not. You know? Because incitement, the meaning of incitement, that way you tell people that the incitement get one negative connotation. For incite someone, and for tell the person for go break the law, for do wrong. You know, they incite somebody for do good, the word no match. You know? So we need to understand that. So me no mind we ordinary people in trouble. What we educated people them, they talk, then they mix things up, then they misinform the public. It is wrong. Because at the end of the day, everybody suffers. You know, me I'm concerned about the ordinary Suri, Lamina, Ato, Bankole, the ordinary guy, we don't get anybody for protection. And I mean I'm concerned. And if we want a constitution for work, that's how we look. And so we for look the constitution. Because the constitution is just a piece of paper. It's up to we for make sure say it get meaning. And the meaning only good when you apply equally against the government and against individuals. But against the government mostly. But if we figure say, and like I said the last time in a wonderful broadcast, it's about time we begin for stop for weaponize the police. It's about time we stop for weaponize the army. They should not be politically involved. We for try for retrain them and give people them the space. You know, they're not for make the decision. When you say something negative about the president, the police not forget any right for say with the summon you in a CID for can't question you. You know. They shouldn't have any such authority, and I'm sure the Constitution will give any such authority, but they do it anyway because the lawyers are not challenging that unreasonable exercise of police power. You know, and I have tried to encourage lawyers to say, as much as we don't get much faith in the legal system as it is today in Australia, nonetheless, you know, absorb one of the lawyers from one duty for go to court, file lawsuits against government, against individuals. There are a lot of things that I see taking place in Australia for the good of the country. This is not going to do with party politics. You know, I strongly encourage, for example, and let people then see the point where they make now. When President Kaba, if not the best president we've ever had so far under the circumstances, now on in time then come up with the Local Government Act. That act then a bad law, you know, and I think the city, which was the intended target, the mayor and the city of Freetown, when I be the intended target, the primary intended target, they should have gone to court and challenged the authority of Parliament for even pass such a law, because it usurped, it encroached on the constitutional rights of the council itself, which is an elected body, you know? So you cannot allow a council that was elected by the people, a mayor that was elected by the people, then Parliament go pass some act, which clearly will be unconstitutional, and give one minister the power for override an entire council, which means that one minister they go make decision without regard to the people who vote the council into place. But it went unchallenged. And I know sometimes people are so pessimistic, then they say, oh, well, you know, the courts, they know all that, but it don't matter. There's a thing called history. When I file the cases, let the courts they rule the way they want. Because history will come back. We see in the Ernest Koroma Sam Sumana case, everybody, you're not going to be a lawyer for no say that decision there was wrong, allowing Ernest Koroma for fire Sam Sumana. It just didn't have the power to do that. Yet you get 3 judges, for whatever reason, who felt for pervert the law for do President Nkrumah a favor, which in and of itself was bad precedent, but it happened. Okay, that's the result, but it will be there permanently. So picking them, grand-picking them, great-grand-picking them, and we're not saying that then 3 judges here pervert the law. Where you write the history of the country. Who knew better, for whatever reason, for say the president get the power? Me say one of the problem where I get with that Ernest Koroma and Sam Sumana case day, to me, now the title of the case itself, I've never been able to understand why the case was titled, you know, Sumana versus the chief of police. What is it? This is how they politicize the police. What did the police chief get for do with the election of a president and vice president? The person when started the problem was President Nkrumah. Nobody has been able to explain to me why wasn't the case titled Sam Sumana versus Ernest by Nkrumah in his individual capacity and in his capacity as president of the Republic of Sierra Leone as the defendant. To me, that would have been the appropriate title for the case. But they will copy because they say Nigeria and I saw them the style in your case. Well, we're not in Nigeria. And we all learn book like Nigerians. We're not just here for follow them because they say so. We for use we own common sense. So to me, that was a bad title that was given to the case. Okay, now let me go back. So I've jumped the gun. So for the title, for the topics then today, I have one for also start off with, let me just touch base on the election, on the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, one more thing I need to tell people. And the lines are open anytime based upon some of the comments they want to make. If you want to get any disagreement or anything for add, please feel free for call and add and say or object or support or disagree with anything I say, because this is an open discussion line. We appreciate and welcome everybody else's opinion. Okay, but we need to talk about, because the most popular occurrence of late is the death of Queen Elizabeth II and the ascendancy or the appointment of Prince Charles as King Charles III. Well, this is important to win for 2 reasons. One, we're in a part of the world, Sierra Leone. We don't get this general attitude that when there is disaster in another part of the world, when there is war, and we want to remove ourselves, like we say, we're not a part of the world, but we are part of the world. So when then even changes of this type happen, it get positive or negative effect on we. So we for let people know, looking at connection. Okay, so now the queen dies. It'll be a reigning monarch for over 70 years. Like I say, I probably was about 4 years or somewhere around the age when he become queen. So now, in our lifetime, this is the Queen of England we've ever known. And why important to we? Why that relevant to we? Because until 1961, now this queen be the head of a country. Until 1961, that's few years ago. Okay, not to say, not only you're not going to even say England, and like where a former leader of your country dies, it's important for let people know. Say this Mamiwe just died so. Now be we head of state. And he visit Salone in the 60s. And like we saw will be the Bo, a kind of Dumba field, in the 60s and visit we and so on and so forth. So now we die, although we don't get we independence, but we need to understand how they ruling we, the good and the bad effect of the British them running the country. That would be a different discussion, but we want to say the bearing now England is just part of us too. The ascendancy of Prince Charles to kingship is part of our history too. We cannot separate ourselves from the British because the impact with lives. In fact, the impact we will with the think. We're thinking now the way they educate we, that's how we think. And that will not get we independent way of looking at things. Now how then shape we mind, now so we don't pass them from generation to generation. So this now we're bearing too. So we for extend with sympathy to the British, and what we can say, so for telling sorry for the Queen, and we're all Queen in passing, and hope Prince Charles go take whatever approach it is for make life better for the ordinary person now the world, because England is a world power also. Okay, so I just want to bring that point there up. Now the other thing I want to add to that, the last official act where the Queen performed, now the appointment of a new British Prime Minister, Miss Truss, and just few days before he died, when a woman, Miss Truss. So now Miss Truss do some historic appointments them in cabinet where we know see happen before. They are historic appointments because, for example, a new foreign minister, now black man, where in Papana Englishman, in Papana white Englishman because you get black Englishman, in Papa na black na white Englishman, and in Mama na Sierra Leonean. Now the first black man will go hold that position there for the foreign secretary for Great Britain. And black man hold that position there one day. So Miss Truss appoint him. And these are people who are being appointed strictly for their intellectual capability, not for anything else, as far as we know. Then he also appoints a Ghanaian, as a Minister of Finance. First time in England. When I say Ghanaian, a British person, but of Ghanaian descent, in people in Ghana. We now first time ever black man hold that position there. Then again, another high profile position, and this is not the senior cabinet position then, not to like wait and say, Minister of Internal Affairs, of Minister then, vague ministerial position. These are the top positions them, now England. Now they Miss Trust put them people here, but they're not all in the black people them. We are particularly proud because one of them get connection with we, and because I'm a man of Sierra Leonean. Then he also appoint a woman, another top high-level position, where a ministerial position, where instead of Kenyan descent. Okay? And there is lesson to be learned. If you are serious about getting the best and the brightest, and these are people where they're not being appointed because they hold 50 PhDs or 20 master's degree. No. These are people who've been time tested, who get experience, where they're not your book sense they get. Like Samuel Doe, the late President Samuel Doe of Liberia, will refer to them as the book people. They're not appointed because they're book people. These are people that way get on the job, practical skills, practical experience. That's how you do if you're serious about running a country. You get the most able, the most efficient, best, who in turn will pick a solid team. It's just like picking a team captain. You pick a good captain, enough to pick good players. Okay? But if you go pick a captain because you are two common at the same region, you go pick a captain because you are two go to the same high school, you go pick captain because you belong to the same tribe, you're hurting the country. Because they put him in the position because he's fit. Or even if you pick a person because you get a PhD, that means nothing. It means something whether PhD is backed by solid results. Then the PhD means something. But that PhD, like we can see in America, is not what the paper is written on if it cannot produce anything for the good of the country. At the end of the day, you don't learn the book for yourself, you learn the book for help your country. You go gain all this knowledge for help people, not for just put on a wall and the bluff. And the interesting thing about it, I saw quite a big irony the other day, at the time when we talk about the new foreign secretary, or the refer to him, as Mr. Cleverly, and I'm going to name down the British, newly appointed British secretary, we refer to we on foreign secretary as Professor such and such. I said, there we go again. You see? So we need to forget of the high horses here. Walk on the ground sometimes like the rest of the people and feel out in the field. We're too superficial, and sometimes the alcohol, they're not match the product where they put in and they put out. So, but Miss Truss do well for the image of Black people and for the image of Africans, for the image of England. And I hope we on governments then go begin for take cue from some of their appointments there. For say, if one country will go forward, people have to be properly, fully qualified for the position within they give them. They're not go they appoint people in. They go appoint somebody for right constitution because he's a lawyer. No. He may not be that kind of lawyer. And when you get a constitution for right, and a bad lawyer go right. Go give somebody operation for do because he's a doctor. No. If you're not a surgeon who specialize in the type of surgery, you give him, he go make a mess of it. But a qualified person, he go medical school, he get degrees and everything. So now that mistake they would make. We think, say, well, you don't be doctor, you can split somebody in head open, you can go on somebody in heart, but they work like that. There are doctors and there are doctors. There are lawyers and there are lawyers. There are lawyers. And it goes on and on and on and on. And so what it try for people to understand, there is a lot them Europeans and the Americans and the teach we, and even themselves they go through their own struggle. But the struggle then they go through, now lesson for we, so we self not get to go through the same problem. If we can follow up with what they go on. So I just want to let people know. And then there was one popular event. We get Australian too, whose name doesn't come immediately to mind. We recently is making just an impressive show. Now the American Cup tennis game, top guy, may very well become the first black man since Arthur Ashe, for an Australian. In my man Australian, in Papa Australian. So Australian, some good things they come out. Or they show we fitness, we intellectual, we intellect, and all of that. So there's a lot going for Sweden this year. So these are people we should be proud of. Now, if you now look on the screen, we even get the picture of Mr. James Cleverly, the new United Kingdom Foreign Secretary. In my man Australian, in Papa na Englishman or white Englishman. Okay? So if you go, you check this man in background, he could also serve in the army, he could do this, he could be foreign secretary in other part of the country. I mean, under secretary, this and that, before they get in this high profile, because for this one black man and get this position, you might get hundreds, if not thousands of which man will qualify. So the reason why they will get in that position, they overweight man them, not because he fit for the position. Okay? But we they destroy ourselves because we don't know how to distinguish political patronage. That is for tell people and thank you because and support you from actual administrative team for make an impact positively on the people's lives and in the country. You see, we don't know how to distinguish that. We could take somebody when they were friend in high school, we make a minister, or something that will make somebody minister, we now be taxi driver in New York, but now we all be the hangout. So now all of a sudden a minister in Australia, and he may be well qualified. But let the country know what makes him that qualified. But we now seem to take fitness, intellectual fitness, seriously. Now patronage with them. So we just give friends them. We shouldn't be surprised. Here is the picture of the young man where he win the tennis case in games them. If the control room can play this video for me, let me just hear what he said. That I'll be very grateful.
My dad being a maintenance worker at a club, help building a club, 99. Mom being a nurse, working 2 jobs, working overtime through the nights. And it was, us being around tennis was kind of gets us, getting out of, our neighborhood. My dad kind of being able to watch us. It wasn't anything. I'm a son of immigrants. Both parents grew up in Sierra Leone, born and raised Sierra Leone. Came to the States early 90s, late 80s, around there, whatever. And they met here and had me and my twin brother. And, my dad being a maintenance worker at a club, help building a club, 99. Mom being a nurse, working 2 jobs, working overtime through the nights. And it was, us being around tennis was kind of gets us, getting out of, our neighborhood. My dad kind of being able to watch us. It wasn't anything supposed to be like this. And then once we got in the game of tennis, it was like, my dad was like, it'd be awesome if you guys can use this as a full scholarship to school, because, we couldn't, afford university, so use the game of tennis. And, I just, that time watching, Serena and Venus play finals of Grand Slams at that time, and when I was super young, and I was like, how cool it would be to play Wimbledon, to play, on Arthur Ashe and stuff like that. And, I just had a big passion for the game, and not even mainly for me, just to do it for them, and to see them experience me beat Rafa Nadal. They see me have big wins, but to beat those Mount Rushmore guys, for them, I couldn't imagine what was going through their heads. So they're gonna remember it today for the rest of their life.
Okay, so
I'm a son of immigrants. Both parents grew up in Sierra Leone, born and raised Sierra Leone.
All right. So thank you very much, sir, the control room. But this is not just for lay people that know that we get very proud people of Salone background doing great things around the world, lifting the name of the country, making people who know one day here because when you say Sierra Leone, there are lots, millions of Americans who are tennis enthusiasts who may have never ever heard of the country Sierra Leone, but this go make them want to know where is this country located, whether na Asia ide, whether na North or South America ide, whether na Europe ide, or whether na Africa. This puts we on the map, you know, and these are the kind of things that we're all proud of. And when we see this young man, I don't think anybody, since I've been here in the Batam, I don't even know from what tribe and people can come out, and it's unimportant. I don't care for anything people that are mandating in the local limba. I'm proud of the guy. That's it.
Yeah.
You see, so this is how we should be looking at us. And when I say me na Sierra Leonean, I come out around district. And I say me na Sierra Leonean, I come out Chonkolili district. You say I'm my parents and come out Sierra Leone. You know, and that's where we should leave it. We should be proud of us being Sierra Leoneans, not this nonsense about the tribe you come from or the district you come from or that kind of thing. We need to stop it, particularly with the educated people who they promote this kind of thing, you know? So, and then now let we move to the irregularities and the registration. So I would like the control room to welcome Ms. Fadima. Nice to see you as always.
Hey.
Okay. So I would like to ask the control room for play because the next topic is going to be irregularities at the registration. From all over the country, people are complaining for one reason or another. We get some videos them. As we play them, we will make a comment on them. Now that Ms. Fadima is on board, I'm sure she too has something to say about that. So I can ask the control room for please play whichever, in whatever sequence, because we don't highlight at least 3 or more videos that we get for do with the registration. So control room, and I can play anyone, I'm sure we're capable of analyzing them.
My family una good morning. And I dey na Courtroom Barre. I find out this thing they go on na Courtroom Barre. But I want to bring account to the notice of the public, let them know say now the situation this way they go on, and let the authority then take action one time because then they try for disenfranchise people them right for register for no good reason. I get a few young men there, plenty day, but I decide for take them few there for evidence for the others them where then they na the queue right now na Courtroom and other areas them. Then young man there, I go ask their name and then go show the year where them born and the month where them born for let una know say they don't pass 18 years. And then can go them birth certificate them for proof, all birth certificate them, but yet still, they say they not they register them. We don't know why. We try for ask the NEC officials, they do not give any substantial reasons as to why they not they register them. But this not evidence for proof say this situation they go on, and it go on all around, everywhere right now, now this district here, the center the way I don't move around. But so it don't become rampant. That is why I decide for do this audio. Let the world see what they go on in Sierra Leone. Let them not say that they do everything that empower for stop people them, not for register and for stop people them right for vote. So my brother, I will start with you. What's your name?
No, Mohammed.
Which year were you born?
24.
2004.
April, yeah.
Mohamed Kamara born April 2004. Yes.
Alassane Sanko,
Alassane Sanko, which year were you born?
2003.
2003.
West August.
Where you self, my brother?
My name is Ishmael Biango.
You name Ishmael Biango. Ishmael Biango, who stay born?
I born the 13 April 2005.
So, what's now your age right now?
I'm 18.
What's now your age?
19.
What's now your age?
18.
Which month is the 18?
The month don't pass April.
It don't pass 18th April. Which month you 18? You 19?
Don't pass. 1st August.
1st August. Now make a 19.
Yes.
What about you, Ishmael Biango? Which say you 18?
April the 13.
April the 13th don't pass. Now 18. So we don't see the all eligible for votes. Then get the right for vote, and then get the right for register, because they even don't pass the age for register based on them birth certificates them as evidence them for proof say they don't pass the age them for register. May people then at this time the problem where they go on. Let we grab and Tima, because people they do everything at the effort for stop people then for register, and if they stop them for register.
Kwejimuko magwolo moma na gundama lunso. Kwejimuko magwolo moma na gundama lunso. Kwejimuko magwolo moma na gundama lunso. Nyabonde sawana ausi ugaunsi atiena. Me Salone people are grateful now. My name na Bauma Station. I want to talk concerning this registration where they go on na Sierra Leone at large. We know say this registration again beaucoup dabaru and yuki they inside this election so where the Mother Bill administration say they don't talk and do, they don't work for Sierra Leonean people. Now, term down here for this election for 2023. Now the registration they on. What did they do? Now the Northwest, they reject the first-time voters them for making no register. But now we now the Southeast, then they allow everybody for register. What did they do? Some of the police centers them na Kailan district. Then drive some police centers and then drive APC party agent that they pull and then drive them they say let no observe the registration where they go on. Now so the thing happen. So many police centers them. Now the Kailan district, then drive APC party agent, APC people, them wanna pay attention. The big people in the APC, I want make una pay attention. Because anything where they go on by this registration, will they bring account on a notice for make una know exactly what they go on. And we not ready for the under this bondage again. Mother Bill don't destroy Salone too much, it don't kill people and too much, it don't thief money too much, no development, no progress, social sufferation. So do ya the authorities them more than they in charge. I want make una grab una stand against NEC, Mohamed Kone, the electoral commissioner. Mohamed Kone, there is a lot of dabaru they go on by this registration. And the other thing again, Northwesterners, una pull una people them na do make them register. Una the local people them, the Limba, the Kuranko, the Soso, the Fula, the Timini, the Yalunka. Una pull una people the Kono, una pull una people na do. Una the Gizi, the Vai, the Cream, the Ngola, una pull una people na do make una register. Kwejimuko magolo moma na gundama lunso. Kwejimuko magolo moma na gundama lunso.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Salone First Media. I am also today with the chairman and leader for the National Grand Coalition Party, Dr. Dennis White, who said he can register for the 2023 elections in the Patricia Kaba Center, Godrich community. Yes, sir, chairman. What is the message we get for the members of the National Grand Coalition out there?
Yeah, the message we get actually for everybody in Salone, and that is this particular registration is very, very important. Very important that everybody can exercise a rights. And in fact, this is a duty, a responsibility we get as citizens in this country. Now, the registration don't start. But it don't start with a lot of hitches, a lot of complaints, especially in the western area, so far. One of the things is that the process is very slow. And it almost appeared to me as if now 15 days, because since then they do them in 2 phases. One side na 15 days it will take. But like this particular center, so the way that they go, now at a rate of about 120 a day, now they able for register. That is very small because now one grain machine, 90 national lady partition kaba. A very small, because if you know the number of people who can come vote now, then you take and say that 120 no more they register per day. Then for 15 days, I mean, not to anything much. You see, so something has to be done. I don't know if not because now 2000 machine incident get. Even though now 3,630 centers a day. But something has to be done. One thing is clear. As far as this registration concerned, everybody will come for car register, forget the right for register. So if they're not done the registration on the time where they don't fix them, let ECSL ready for extend them so that people will get the opportunity. But there's no way anybody can be left behind. Everybody forget the right for register and vote. So waiting one for talk no more. I want to encourage the people where they can let them patient because some of them they're not lying. Right now, this area where people they understand, then they suffer. People they don't complain. They complain say some of them they get for go do them daily chores and try for offend and daily living, but they not get the opportunity for the one for come. But waiting when they try for advise them, let us still be patient and try for get registered. What is it all that you paper day?
As you see, no one let them old post in here because now we job we they do. Please, you will be don't register 2017, 2018.
Well, your phone number will be used in those days.
Register 210. If you register 210, the machine they detect. What owe you na police will they give you? If you don't say be register, cancel. If you don't say you not register, cancel. But wait a minute. If you register 210, you know what not register, don't have ID card hold again. You have information to hold again. You where you know if you don't register, all the information they inside the system. You be give papa name, you be give mama name, also so. It is inside the system. The phone number you be give, it is inside the system. So you will not get the ID card in your loss. Where they can't give you the phone number where you be give. If the phone number not there, you don't go for you will better. You be give papa and mama name. They put that at the system. And they pop up. So I beg this where you scan now, where you go other side, and they owe you. Please. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Control Room. Ms. Fadima, I don't know if you get any comment for make. I have a few, but go ahead, based upon the videos and we hear. I think you're muted. You are muted. Muted.
Okay. Okay, I know they see me safe right now. It's like I'm frozen. Can I go out and come back in? It's like I'm frozen on the screen.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Clear, very clearly. Very clearly. Just a minute, they will get Ms. Fadima a chance to come back on before I make my observation. Okay, now while Ms. Fadima is trying to get back on board, let me just comment on a few of the videos then we will see. because them video are then revealing, then they tell we a lot of things will go on. Now the advantage down there about social media, unlike long time ago, we now get this advantage. But let we start off with the young man them we then say then they prevent for register because I think next say they not give the reason clearly why next say they not go register them. But when I for look at the faces of this boy, the question them boys then the question when me get now for ask the question, is it what do they have a suspicion that these boys are not 18 years old? Do they look a lot younger? And whether they get any way for test people and for see if in fact them people are not the truth than the talk, or maybe they don't coach them, maybe not to the name down one day. But there are a lot of ways you can verify the truthfulness of which young man and they talk about with the birth certificates and all that stuff. You know? So make a start off with Dr. Dennis Wright. This last video we see the young guy where they say if you don't vote before, if you don't register before for vote, you know for register now. If you register, that means you register 2 times and then will give you police trouble. Well, that sounds to me like voters intimidation. Where I think say for be unlawful if it is not unlawful. You know, because you begin scared people, and this gentleman, this video, they tell people and say they're not for register again, because if they don't register before. But that cannot be correct, and if it is correct, that's not being said elsewhere, because the information should be uniform. What you need to say, them for say the same thing in other registration centers. You don't for say just in one area. And also, if it is correct, well, President Bio did not vote before, and we just see a way register recently again. So is he doing something illegal? And you think he registered twice, why not people are not go they allow for register? Is this gentleman telling people the right information, or is he telling people
As you see,
no one let them open up in here because now we just what they do, please.
Or is he giving people the information for intimidate them, for scare them, for make them stay away and not for register? Because it sounds to me like not that it do in view of the fact that we know the president just recently registered, and the president definitely had registered before because he don't vote before. So again, some of them points they would make, and if we are wrong, we welcome the government, like the Minister of Information, who is such a nice guy and always is willing to come on board and try for clarify issue, is perfectly welcome to come and say, we are mistaken and this gentleman is right, or we are mistaken that the president he don't vote before, but be registered, whichever way they want to explain. But this is the way we see him right now. And then we also see the other video where the allegation is, whatever that woman be the person at the line where they hand people them, which looks kind of strange and suspicious. What was she handing people, and she wasn't giving everybody? People and claim saying that the money they give certain targeted individuals. That's the woman Fatimata Sawane, this video here. They say that money, if you notice, they give everybody, they pass some people then they give some. So are these people then where they don't line up, where they know who they are, but people then say that was money she was giving people. Well, something like that need to be investigated. And she seems to have a police person where basically they be in them, like they guide them in case somebody try for do anything out of the ordinary. Why is the police officer they go up and down with them? So these are some of the allegations. So we welcome the government for calm until we say, no, not your money down there be the pass, and tell we the nature of what you be to give people them, and tell we why wasn't everybody getting it, and then tell we from whose side the line start, where you give, from whose side that start, or they get a certain group of people and we number from one point to another way, again for give them all stuff. Okay, So, but these are some of the allegations that money that they pass to people. And then, of course, you hear the young man in the red, where complaints say voter suppression or voting suppression is taking place in the southeast Salone region, where in a million part of the country down there, because I belong to two parts of the country. Western area, Aberdeen Village, my place of birth, and Salone district, Upper Bambara Chiefdom, my place of growth, and in fact, both districts, the place where I get my education. So I think from the west coast all the way to the southwest boundary, southeast, I'm sorry, I think I can speak confidently about what I know, how I can hold my own against anybody who is born and raised in that area today. Both districts, Salone district, western area, please. I will call you homeboy, brother, and so if you're from that area, then there you think say I'm wrong, call me, tell me, call on the show, disagree. We'll like people, we don't always want people to forgive. And the last comment I want to make, where Dr. Dennis Wright say Nada Kaba Center Day, then they register an average of 150 people a day, and they only get 15 days. Then if now 150 people a day for the 15 days, and we only register 2,250, it looks like. And there are thousands and thousands more people qualify for vote. And this is where the legal profession comes in. If this is true, the lawyers, the opposition should have lawyers already set, armed, for go to court and file, back home then we'll say read, injunction, challenging the process itself. This is what lawyers do. This is the difference lawyers make. So where are the lawyers in this instance when, if they see such manifest injustice, where is the legal profession? Why are they missing in action? Why hasn't this matter gotten to court with their irregularities? You're not going to wait till election take place. Then right now you forget people already keep statistics, because that will be part of the evidence of people, their name, their age, their addresses, who were not registered, who went there for many days or many hours. All this then for the opposition for the build-up, the evidence by now. But we're not seeing much of it. So what Dr. Dennis Bright say, which he just says so, which is okay, it's very informational or informative. What I would like for Dr. Dennis Bright and in group them for do, get lawyers on retainer to now take preemptive action for their irregularities here. Not wait until it's too late. This is not preemptive action. So meaning you get for take action before the wrong is done. So lawyers play a very important role where you can't find anything there, and now is the time. So make a pass on back to Ms. Fadima because she was having difficulty coming up. So Ms. Fadima, welcome back.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Again, I say thank you to VOS. Thank you every Sunday. Where they can join, and the new people who they can join, for let we can listen and let we go more, let we see what thing they happen. And we know in our election term they come, and this is our registration term, just like you say, Mr. Shilon. As a world as a whole, we're at a moment of the crossroads. We're at a moment of anxiety, uncertainty, and all the stuff. September 11 don't happen, 2001, and now we see the Queen don't die. We're all in for 70 years. Change is coming. The season is changing. Times are changing. We see again the new king don't come take place, where they try to do something different from the old regime, from the old times, because we are reading talk where the king they taking oath, where they making announcement on proclamation as they call it. We see camera, then the way camera now used for day because the queen long term they do long term thing. So we safe na Salone, from where we get Salone, where they begin votes. Now Salone in the 1800s, na Salone first begin make woman them vote. Now the first time woman them vote inside Sierra Leone.
Now the world,
And
the whole world.
now 30 days, 2021, they 22, they go to 2023. We cannot get things right in the country. And then you ask yourself the question, why don't we want to fix what is broken? If my problem is your business, where you dey gain from, will you fix the problem for make me life better and easy? No. The answer will be no. They don't want to fix the problems. We people them deliberately, governments deliberately for keep them broken so that they will able to get an advantage at an election. And I say to you, I have never voted in Sierra Leone, never in my life. And I remember when I been small, when we dey grow up, na Fobe. Me grandpa go vote, I follow for go. In that election, where go na railway all, now in one grand getting name na that constituency day. He went to vote. They say somebody else have already voted under your name. He said, are you kidding me? Uda no know na this area, Uda's na me, where person for vote me name. He say, I don't care what you say, Uda don't vote me name, me get for vote. So that person will vote me name, me get for put me name na that ballot. So then Guillaume, I remember, gave him some other name or whatever it is for putting ballot inside. Then tell them they paper ballot and marble and all that kind of thing, and they hijack. Then they hijack the box, and before they reach outside and they go count, who that win, pass you, they say unopposed, then pick and win. That means say nobody not to matter. You know, I get all the votes that were not possible because inside every side you get somebody with. And we receive from the one, we see the mayor of Freetown. We see whether they go poll to poll. We even see reports where the people then at the center, they say they give them wrong code for putting at the machine them. How can you have 2,000 computers for over 3,000 centers? That means that you take advantage by the one them, the area there where you shape the machine, because remember them, we don't do the census, and then we don't say Freetown not get Boku people, so sometimes they not bring Boku machine, because I see Sylvia Blyden in tweet, where tweet say they not get irregularity, they know that they get all the same problem, not to specific and targeted area no more. All the side where people and they complain, they upline themselves get the same problem. But it is not so in as such, because nobody in the upline will not see. Now inside Freetown and inside the other side them, we see people and they complain, say they're not able to vote. People and they go team up in a line. Let me remember say, now and so much them people here they eat every day. Almost days you go able to go team up in a line where sometimes I don't go team up now 100 people number for that day they go able for register at the center. Who send them go able for register how many hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people inside Sierra Leone? And how long in 1 month? So my question be, if then they do business, again I ask that question. If you business, if me problem, now you business, now this also they make money, will you fix my problem? Will you care about me? Will you care about my problem because you they get profit from my problem? You will not fix it. And these people had time for lady election done the 2018 to 2021. They could not fix the problems of Sierra Leone. We get for go the past. We always get forget international bodies. We see observers them. We see people them in yellow vest, security vest, yellow construction vest. They were out there, white people were observing, and they coming up with these things. How come we for continue? We country for continue now be frustration this. Because we problem that in business, outside they get cash, now outside they get a livelihood, they don't want to fix it. And how you go say we get constitution, we not democratic country with people that get right for votes. You want to know you they go vote. Every 5 years, we don't agree now with constitution say, if you lack who that's you gain a power, you get right for register, so you go able for go vote for her. If you don't want the person within a power, you get right for go register. It will be equal among every Sierra Leonean. Like how me Mr. Shilo say, President Biomi don't vote before, he get in card. But when I hear say can't him up here, then give the executive side, they go sit down side, they make them quick one, they don't go. But the poor man, when they are free tongue, when sometimes one for keep Uda than a power, or one for pull Uda than a power because they're not satisfied with their life not change from where this come, or the one that where they eat now, the ones who don't say yes, I'm glad now me, I like this president. But then they take away the rights of the people. And that is the thing that is wrong. And when people call this out, when citizens of Sierra Leone that are bold enough to call this out, una get problem with them. And this should be, first of all, we will come to the point where we for able to register all throughout the year. If we not say we don't get them problem here, why we want them, like how you say, when them put in position, why they pay them boku money, and we yeri child in claim where he come up with say, inside the neck from check to the driver, they don't increase the salary past the Major General self within the army. We don't hear all them here. And when we see this, then they give me 1 month. According to them, it's by like how Dennis White say, 1 month's not going to do for make all them people and they able register. 1 month's not do for less registration for open. Even in America, registration open 24 hours, 7 days a week. You go to post office, also you get your paper, or you can see some people and they get and say register to vote. You sign your paper, you put on the mail, then send and cancel. You check it then a pieces, then they own a paper, then they own paper where water can soak. If water soak, rain come, water soak, and they don't get computer for let you say or this for identify yourself. Check it then a paper, then they write paper and pen. 2022 inside Sierra Leone. Then we call this development, we call this better, we call this country. Well, I mean, some of us are not used to substandard life. Because we are not used to substandard, we want standards, we want discipline, we want to go forth, we want people to do things right. We want the system for work for every Sierra Leonean as the law provide and guarantee we. So election not for B, term for USAI, for go register first not the problem. It discourage some people don't go again. Because when you say, I mean, they go to Mapiana again, then they go harass me. Not all man able for them to harass them. Not all every city they able boss and noise. Some people like noise, some people don't like time and they harass them. As they begin embarrassed, they harass them. You the threaten and tell them, say, we go come and go police. If you not get this paper, you not get that paper, you can hire. If you get this, you can hire. Everybody for able to map like, yes, I may not vote before. You for there inside the system, you just update, say, I don't change my address or I not change my address, or na ya been there, that person still get our rights there. But we not sabi do thing, like I say again. If me problem, what I get? Now your business, try to make money. Now your business, where you try to get you, to feed your family them. You go fix me problem. No, you not go fix them because you continue to forget what you get inside it. And that is the frustration of some of us Sierra Leoneans when they sit down here, when they talk every day and call things out like it is. It is wrong. We don't forget them problem here by now. If we don't know so, we don't get them today. We say 2011, 2006, whatever term, then do the last election then. From Anes by Kogoma in term, from Tijaka by term, we don't know say them problem here day. Why we not fix it? Why would they wait last minute to watch? Where push don't come per shop 1 month, they say 1 month, if you not go register, then they lock the registration for you. Even we went in at the diaspora, them country like Nigeria and Ghana, then they register at the embassy, then they make work for them when they register. They don't take we out of the picture. We don't even important in a salon. We don't even get rights in a salon. We don't even, and then they country, but when they for come bigger the money, now we can we give them dance with gladdy. Then we dance with gladdy for these people, but these people are not fixing the problem of the people because it's their business. It's their business. Some people are coming to make their retirement check. It's their business. You know, like you talk of the appointment of with Sierra Leone brother. Nobody no ask now waiting. He's a Sierra Leonean and a British. In papa na white man, in mama na Sierra Leonean. But nobody no say na Creole bona. Na they Spencer over them picking in mama. But nobody no say na Creole picking, na Mende picking, na Liba picking. You talk of Francis Tiafo. He make history too in tennis. He lost the semi-final though to this Italian guy. I watched the show. He fought to the end. But nobody don't expect say he go to that point. He not the first black man after Ato Ash, the tennis player, the black tennis player, will make history inside America from 2006. Where the what's in it called? Nobody don't be expect something. He's a Sierra Leonean. In Papa na mende, in Mama na Creole so. Alfina na Creole so. So these things that people do, these things that we do, what we they do? We want to push the Sierra Leone go before, but we people there. If you cannot fix the problem of the people, we don't have a good country. I'm sorry. Business day when you fix the problem of the people. If you fix the problem of the people, then the country go thrive, business go grow, things go go. But if you cannot fix the problem, every time you open social media, we talk about problems. We happy or much not they go because when you look somebody sad, in a rock you say they sad, you say they confused, you say they frustrate because Salone problem not they done every day. This is the time of change. This is the new dawn. We don't get a new king in the world. People ask, some people they say, why una they say rest in peace? Because she was part of us. No matter what, if not a slave master, when a person dies, good human beings do sympathize. That's how war ends. That's how wicked stuff ends. Because if you sit on the hate and talk, say, why you for glad for this? Because why you for celebrate Sunday? Why you for say rest in peace? Now then take this. We all know the history. History is never going to be erased. We know the history. But there's time to tell the history. And there's time not to tell the history. That's what decent people do. That's what peaceful people do. There are times when you get for just shut up and sit down and wait for the right time for talk. You know, we not say we golden then at the end and that, but we know. But what do we do to fix that problem? After 61 years of independence, we said and grieve for left we, but we're going back to them. So we don't so depend. Like when you get drugs, you therefore go get the fix for the high. We're still going to them. So we need them. We need them as partners. We don't need them as colonial masters no more, but we need them as partners. Now the citizens the money then they take for giving for low what we say. Then the one we get, then put her as business with problem, now in their business. Now then they get cash. So then continue for suppress me, then continue for sit-down power. And we talk about, we say we want justice, we say we want peace. And if we so, because some people they can so obsessed over that day, then they cause more problem. So why don't we solve the problem so that the problem go done? Because people are not going to stand for certain things all the time. After the air we breathe in life, according to Maslow, after the air, we want a sense of belonging. Every human being wants to belong. Every human being wants to be treated with dignity and respect. Every human being, if you check, we all goal in life is to make a better life, a better place, a better world, and live it a better world. But everybody go about it differently. We know that. But if we think about the next person, as we all then are the world, we all are one, we all are brother's keeper, then we go begin for make the change. But if we're sitting thinking that we are not part of the problem, and we put in there, then when you come about, other one they come. And I asked myself the question, why does one family, I was looking at the queen and all the estate and all the whatever, he's not the only one. We got billionaires here, we get markets here, we get boundaries that they put for all the certain group of people down so they will be the working class forever. And then you ask the question, why should one person have all this? And then you see a child, your child, they live in luxury, they protect and preserve your future or your children, your generation. But yet another generation, they struggle. They struggle for feeding Peking. They struggle for go to doctor. They struggle. We see Sierra Leone now, the sex step that when they come out, how they picking them. You know, how them picking them just don't care anymore because they want to survive. It is not no excuse to do those things, but I will say I understand the reason why they do what they do. I understand the reason. It is not an excuse that they can do it. It's a choice. Then you get small picking the way small past than they. And I will tell you a story. Yesterday, I raised my hand to God. One picking tell me, say, yeah, mama, they get problem. And mama, they talk about all this business where they do on social media, them picking them, these videos, this sex tape, the disease where they now and all that kind of stuff. He said, let me talk to him picking. Because me, I can talk to people picking them. And the picking told, this little girl told me, say, since she was 5 years old, the boy there when they walk to in grandpa and house and grandpa and business them, they were sleeping and molesting her, the driver, this when the people and they go hustle and they go spend money, the one that went in a house from the family member to the whatever, they are destroying these girls. This girl is like 24. I said, okay, you need therapy. I said, they don't have therapy. And I said, this is what I told Mrs. Bill the last time where we do the international child, where I call line show. I said, you don't do good when you bring awareness hands of our girls. But the thing to me is, where are the centers where them Pikia go for go get healing, for go get stuff? There are no trauma centers out there. There are no side there where, because for go get counseling, for get over trauma, because for 14 years, as she said, now we go from 3 SS, me don't know how they call them, school them. Now it begin for what they call. We cannot fix the problems of our country. Fix the problem. Election now in 8 months, 9 months in June, we cannot fix the country of computers. We cannot put money to buy computers. Now they don't put security money back per week per airport. $25 for go $25 for company. They don't tax we back inside the tax. They will don't pay. Where they buy the tickets them. Then now they don't tax we say them. They pay for it, but they not able to pay again. So go pay $25 for go inside, $45 for go inside. That's all we are the working class. We they give to the government. They taking. And they getting richer. They're comfortable. While other people picking and they can die. Other people picking and they can suffer. I see President's bill. They go around for talk to people. I write 9 page. I say in tweet. I say better late than never. Because me own philosophy in life, I believe say nothing is too late. At least if it will he recover from whatever the mistakes they have made, I don't know. That is not my concern. But my concern is better late than never. Because he was going out there talking to the people. He talked to the school picking and tell them say, okay, I better I don't hear reform for stand. They should have done that a long time ago, but it's better late than never. We get problem in Salone, but we don't get people that we know how to solve the problem in Salone. And that then our frustration and that then our problem. I pass it back to you, Mr. Shilon, sir. Thank you. Mr. Shilon, do you hear me? Yeah, okay, Mr. Shilon, not hear you, but just continue my rant because when I not say making rant, I can talk and talk. You know, everybody want killing company. Everybody want die. Everybody they are like, whether for family, whether for politics, whether for what, all my want killing company. We're not tired. We're not tired. We're not tired yet. We're not tired for change. We're not able for change. We attitude, the way they think. We're not tired yet. We're not tired. Me, I don't tire at 59 years old, so I'm tired for you know from a small 30 day and the same problem. The problems can be fixed if human beings change their mindset. The problems can be fixed. But because our problems are their cash machine, are their business, the problem not get for solved just now. Until we get people the way they think, Sierra Leone first, then we dey force me people. And the struggle continues and abateful. But we hopeful. I hope say in my lifetime before I die, I will see change in Salone, the real change what I want to see. I pass them back to you, Mr. Shilon, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. So there are so many issues that we'll get to deal with back home. I mean, it's kind of hard for really everything can be extensive. We can talk from here till next year because the issues are so deep and so many. Some of the social things the Ms. Fadima just mentioned are true, and as long as the economy, and I want people to understand, when we say anything here, not to say we are picking on the government, but we are, for me, I want the people to realize, say, government is a target because that's what government comes into power for. No matter to me which government kind of power. These are issues they should tackle. But they're not fair for kind of power, then when I turn the government into a cash cow as a means or as a source for get rich. And nowadays, governments have become so emboldened that they're not even with safety and common power. We see down there with the Ernest Koroma situation with some ministers and they build 3-4 houses. People are getting rich by leaps and bounds while they are in office. So when I pick on any particular government, we're seeing the same things now. So you just wonder, and these are the things where some of we concerned about. It doesn't matter to me, party politics, I'm way above that. And people who know me know say I have no faith, absolutely zero faith in the two major political parties because they are two sides of one coin, the same coin. No matter which way you flip them, they're the same value. And I like to be proven wrong because I wish this on Sierra Leone. But I'm just as certain as I am talking to people. Today's Sunday, okay? September 11, 2022. I'm sure of this date. I'm just as certain that neither APC nor SAPP has what it takes to ever lead that country in the right direction. Neither one of these two parties, because corruption is so embedded in both of them. You know, so I want people for hear me loud and clear. But for those of us who get hope that these people, then one of them two parties here will take us to the promised land, it's quite a challenge. You know, prove me wrong, because I don't see any indication that they get what it takes. You see, the young people who are idealistic, some of whom are members of parliament, who got into parliament because they really believe say they can make a difference. You see how quickly parliament shut them down when they begin for talk and alleged corruption. Because you get the old guards where no one things for change because it's beneficial to them. We are telling people them, but they don't listen. Again, I know I'm offending a lot of people when I say this. APC kind of power, they're just going to take off where they left off. 60 years of independence is plenty of time, plenty of evidence for we to be able to judge them two parties here. Okay? And even right now, we see what's in the happen. We see the appointments that are being made, that are being given to people. You cannot run a country giving position to people based on the tribe to which they belong. You not go get anywhere. You go satisfy your people. And then for maintain that trajectory there, you have to do a lot of wrong things along the way. So me, the urge with country Sierra Leoneans still, please, when I take a deep look, don't waste your vote for either one of them party here. Your life not go change. Your life not go improve. Your life not go better. The future for your people not go improve. Because there is no indication, there is no evidence of that. They will not ignore reality. Okay? Now, what do you mean to suggest?
Mr. Sheila, let me cut you one small, sir. There is no third force right now in Sierra Leone. Because you remember I said they get the COP, right? According to Chernobyl, if the technical team can go now with page, social media. Am I echoing? Is it me?
No, you're fine.
Okay, I thought I was echoing. So if they can go now the social media, I put the thing there that Chernobyl put up. And Chernobyl talk of, like they don't dissolve, then they try for dissolve the COP. the coalition will come from for all the parties, that it is no more. So do we really have opposition? Do we really have another choice? Do we have
do.
a choice?
We do.
I say,
Let me check.
now the same cops legal status have been reviewed. If that's the case, then what kind of opposition do we have? Because then they talk of
Well, the option is then say one man died, na incense done. Creativity, now the best intelligence than it. Now, when you back a cat or an animal to a wall, they always go find a way for get away from it. We have a thing called the judiciary, the courts, where we all don't get much confidence in. But me believe say that banning day of this group is illegal. It's unconstitutional. Let them go to court, fight to the end. Let the court say it's legitimate. But you just can't throw in the towel. This is what is happening. That's why the government are able to get away with it. For example, if I had any advice to have given the mayor of Freetown, I would have told her the first day when they passed the Local Government Act to challenge that law. When they appoint the minister of Western area, fine. But if you take me responsibility as mayor and put on my hand, I will challenge that in a court. One thing people do not do, they don't abandon the legal system because they don't see any hope. I think that's a great mistake. Go to court. Because sooner or later, some judges will get the courage to do the right thing. I think these are illegal things there. I mean, a lot of things the government do is illegal, but they're not being challenged. Except recently, I don't know whether some of them listen to me, when we were fired of the general, they come up with a big reason. It took a while before she knew, okay, anyway, you get a remedy to file a lawsuit. The mayor, they don't take the law, usurp in power, they don't take it in power. Well, they don't get it right. The government don't get it right. That's why we have the Constitution. Fight it out with the Constitution. You're making it easy for the government. So I still believe, you don't have to, because see, what is the solution? If you tell me, say, a pot's too hot, but if I go to the fire, now the only two options are there again, well, I'm going to sweat this guy. Because the reality is the reality. These two parties, they're not going to do nothing for anybody. And so how can we subject a nation to this kind of bondage? You get for find a way out of it.
That is the question. That is the question. Now, APC or SLPP or what else? Because the one way like me with the chair or now say, okay, they don't get coalition of parties don't come together. We say, okay, they will pick for me, let them pick the best for put on for a strong team. Now we see where the old Femi Claudius Cole, where they lock him for Setimot. We see where they intimidate Dennis White, they go lock himself for put her up for nothing, advantage, because they can do it. And this is the dirty politics that we're playing in Africa, and Sierra Leone they do them. This is not 2022, for goodness sakes. Let we do am, may the best man win. Let we do am, let the choice of the people, let the voice of the people be heard freely. Because how can we be suppressing? Obama make a thing, say, you read the president and say, oh, I get so many percentage of the vote. Because Obama say, yes, you're going to get so much percentage because you don't lock all your opposition in a jail. Because you don't put all the people them, they're silent, they don't intimidate them, you don't go lock them up for just set them up and broke them zeal and make the people them be and afraid. So that's why Obama made that comment. He say yes, you go say, oh yeah, I won by certain percent of the vote because you shot all your opposition, they're all in a jail. Who never for talk against you? Who never for run against you? And then they make us say, you get for them then a party so many years. Nobody know just come out of the woodwork say, they can't go on, me na Sierra Leonean. You get for them join party for how many years? You get for them do this, all the rule them for restrict people then. Because you get lower, let me say, even the APC or SLPP, good people there where they inside them, young minds there where they inside them, but they're not going to qualify for just come up before, say, I want flag bearership, all man they say 9 ton. We see the case of Alpha Khan. That was the downfall of APC, in my own opinion. Because we see Alpha say, and we hear and don't talk, say, now Ina be the best candidate, now Ina be the one who sabi the job, now Ina be the man of all man, nobody else not for be run against him, now in them for be give the candidacy. Now him, because if they're not getting the candidacy, then all the other people then are rubbish. Because in is superior, nine up. So people then they make more seniority. When Obama and Hillary, Republican told Obama for wait. Obama said no. Obama said I'm not a wait, and Obama did not wait, and he win twice. Because they say, and Hillary in turn made them give Hillary chance. So that's why Republicans were Democrats were divided. Because they don't give a wait for Hillary. He said no. The urgency of now, I get for go do it here and do. Although they suppress and the House and in the Senate, the local, the majority able push Baku bill, but he became president. You see, so sometimes this seniority and this business as usual and this bureaucracy, like I say again, it's a new dawn. It's a new dawn. The things are changing. Will the British people, the king change everything? Then the young people, they can therefore do with the times of now. Whatever they do with the times of now they pan. So all of the position, election. Not many people are talking. Femi is tweeting. We are every day then at the Twitter. We see the mayor they talk. We see other people in the talk. But who is listening to the cry of the people? Who is listening? Because what you do, the problem, the people have problem that the business, the one day within a politics. I'll pass it back to you, Mr. Sheila.
All right, ma'am. Here is my take on that. My take is, I refuse to accept that the only thing Salonians get, it may not, there has to be a starting point. We therefore, first of all, accept the concept. Ms. Femi Cole not belong to APC or SAPP, I don't think. Dr. Dennis Brown not belong to Bright, Dr. Bright not belong to APC or SAPP. These are choices, these are alternatives. You know, the problem is we want to build Rome in a day. You know, because we want to feel secure with established parties, them even though, why can't we mend the picking from where small to grow? Put your faith and then people here. God is showing us the alternatives we are resisting. We can vote. I mean, I would love to see, because I know my prediction will come true. Let's vote for the other party and see how they're going to improve lives. It's not going to happen. Because not to the mindset that one day. Not to the mindset. Let me tell you how you solve the problem, because I'm a great believer in the legal system. The way you do it, then for challenge the legality of the requirements that you belong to a political party. Because when you pass laws, the laws then for be based on reasonableness. Reasonableness. What is the reasonableness in requiring anyone for join a political party? But if you don't challenge them theories there, they will stay the same. So like when they talk about new things, you need young enthusiastic people there for make use of the courts that the courts are just sitting idly by, just on the sidelines. That all this for them at their feet. Then they challenge that requirement there. So a young man who just finished college, if he feels say qualified for a run for the presidency, he should be allowed. What is so reasonable that you for join a political party and you for be a newcomer? I mean, it's almost like telling me. But let me just say this: it's almost like telling me. Think of the time where Jesus Christ came. Think of the time where Prophet Muhammad came. These were young guys. They meet people and we're old past them. Imagine if they were being told, well, you get for wait till you old. Let you be like that imam and that before you begin preach the gospel. Life is not like that. Not to that history. But think of Dr. Martin Luther King. There were thousands, if not hundreds, there were hundreds, if not thousands of black preachers in America before Dr. Martin Luther King. who lived during his lifetime. He died very young, but he saw, like he quote Obama just now, he felt and saw the fierce urgency of time. So just because things are established, they are laid out, it don't necessarily mean you know go challenge them. Let me give you because let me give you a good instances in America. When we come to America, telephones, all the telephone of everybody who use telephone, offices and individuals, the telephones belong to Bell South.
Yes,
Nobody had a telephone. Everybody rented telephone. Where you move, the stores are able to sell telephone. Now one company will own all the telephone. But somebody sat down and said, this is just not right. And then challenged it in a court for say it's a violation of certain laws in this country, you know? And a judge by the name of Judge Green, Federal District Court in Washington, D.C., now he broke my bell, that which gave birth to Verizon, Sprint, and all this other. So you get you have to challenge the system. Or people who will have said, oh, in a big company, we can't challenge them. But believe me, history is full of taking on big, gigantic Goliaths and knocking them down. I am not going to preach pessimism because that doesn't solve problems. When wrong is wrong, when things are monumental, there are ways. Now, may God give you intelligence. We still get a system in Australia, as hopeless it might be. Challenge it, go through that medium day. Somehow, things are going to work out. But me not support this thing about, Ms. Farima, till you die, till me die, I'm so sure. We'll be just playing games. APC, SAPP, APC.
Because Mr. Shilon, do you remember where maybe small, I'm not sure you remember because me remember, when we get independent candidates the way they gone. But now we don't have that party. We had independent party where independent candidates they be gone then. People can stand as independent. If they don't get their symbol under APC or SLPP, then go stand independent. But Papa Shekin team now pull down the after because I think let me get few candidates that were independent candidates where we then tend the day. But we try to be optimistic here. I'm getting feedback. We're trying to be optimistic. We're trying to be optimistic here. But the reality, we got to be realists too. That the reality on the ground, numbers, you just call two prominent people, them of the court. You call Madam Femi, you call Dr. Dennis White. The question, they say politics not people, politics not number, politics not recognition, who they know. Is our people ready in a mindset? Has their mindset changed? Because you know we identify. This is the limitation we give to ourselves because we identify ourselves to groups, we identify ourselves to tribes, we identify ourselves by region, we identify, that identity, that's what we don't give. They already limit we and put barrier. So even if good something come before you, you're not going to able to see them because now we be mindful of the people that we think who will. If you say, okay, let me just put a team together now. Let me say Femi Claudius Cole and Dr. Dennis White. We put them two together. We say, okay, now the candidates, where they run on the COP. Let me just say that. Okay, they come together. Will Sierra Leoneans accept them? Doing the thing is one thing, but the reality on the ground, the mindset of people, are they ready for the change that they really need? That is the question. That's the $1 million question. If you can get that $1 million question, the solution to that problem, we're optimistic. But then let's be realistic too.
Let me give instances upon instances. In answer to that question, in answer to whether the people are ready, readiness not necessarily mean that next year's election, Dennis Bright and Femi Cole go win. But then stand a better chance 2028, 2033, or whatever the case may be, or the party. Because when APC kind of power, when Shaka Stephen and the odds were so bleak that APC go even stand a chance for win. I was old enough, I was a polling agent for APC. It was a newly formed political party by Shaka Stephen and others. No way did it seem possible. And before APC, don't forget for say, in fact, APC was the youngest party. You get PNP, you get UPP, you get SLPP, you get all kinds of party there. In anybody in wildest dream, including Shaka Stephen himself, did they think APC will come and defeat SLPP? But it happened. Not to force will not get a historical reference. It happened. And then when would they talk about the fierce urgency of time? When in real lifetime, now we take everything for granted. 20 years ago, if anybody had said a black man would be president of this country, you would have said the need for take that person to go to a mental hospital because it's not Chris. It's not possible for black man to be president of America. Just 20 years ago, because you cannot even think of the odds of that happening. But when the black man in turn comes, when he push out, whites then follow him. He defeats a very strong candidate in the person of Mrs. Clinton. He not any effective person to defeat. It was a hard-fought thing, but in this history, right in front of a very eye, if we talk about mystery or things that would take place in a lifetime, Obama a nomination and election to power. Now, one of the things that way nobody, black or white, ever dreamed say will happen in a lifetime. These things are possible because I can give you history upon history upon history. You know, when the system of this country is segregated, the odds were so bleak, and that black man will get equality or will get right to public accommodation. People stood up. They see the wrong of it, and then challenge them. And in the process, things change. Things are not going to change if we just want the convenience of access. God is not going to solve it for us anymore than he has already. He's giving us choice. We need to fight for it. If it not happen the first time, if it not happen now, it will happen at some point. We therefore begin to put that in the minds of the people. You are wasting your vote.
We have had parties before NGC and all the other ones. We don't get more party than before we come, but then we see they march back, they give back. And then sometimes you doubt the integrity and the intention of these people. Because if they come for car, you will see one election come, then you go see them dissolve, then go join the other. Now NGC, I will give them credit because they don't still stay, they still stay for whatever. But the question is, with people there, whether the voters there, if they don't recognize you, if they don't know you, they're not going to vote for you, because that thing I talk of identity, identifying, and identification gives us limitations to good things and to grow, and for use we intellectual, we intellect them, for use we brain, for what we think, because we don't identify with this. So everything what this group say now they do, we not use we intellect for go beyond. Like you said, we are not using it to go beyond, and because we're not using it to go beyond and know we capability, say we can do better, we can go better, we can go further, because we are limited by identity. And that is the question for me, and that's the thing that we talk, we do, we waiting to talk about the people of Sierra Leone, that then careful, be willing and ready and understand. Because if they don't understand what you tell them, it's for nothing. Because I remember when they do in campaign, they say we don't get money for you now. They say, look at that, they don't talk. Because the people want something to eat right now. The people, we see the video of the registration. We see Salone, they go out there, they give money to the people in a line. Big ones, so openly so. Yes, you get initiative. You can tell people, they say, because we get a campaign, we lead organization in America, we send people on the ground, they send money, like give incentive, because we want more women for vote. The campaign is women to the polls in 2023. We want women to go vote, because we're women, they're not able to go vote. So we get incentive, we say, okay, if we not go vote, we go na top up. We not go vote, we not come, we not can show on paper, we go na top up. But we know they go to the polling station, we will say, okay, you not get transportation, okay, we go drive you, go register for vote. Go register to vote. At least the first step is go register to vote. When you go register for vote, then you go get voice for talk. But if the people are not registered, how they go vote, how change will come, how good change will come. The standing at the $1 million question, Mr. Zero. I mean, this conversation.
Okay, make I say this. If we accept the premise that the things are what they are, so the status quo for remain, why would you complain about President Bill? Why would not just let the people just vote for who they want, and then when they go to APC, when APC beat them and starve them, then cry again, let them go back to SFPP and let things just be that way. Because no one will accept the fact that there is a way out. But we all get to put a shoulder to the wheel. If I were a politician, if I were a young guy, as you know, what I would do is to take this process for educate the people. So say if SFPP can't give you money, eat them. They don't know how to put your vote. If APC give you money, eat them. They need to understand how the system works. They need to be educated. You don't owe anybody any obligation. Eat the money and vote for you with your conscience. Vote for the future of you picking them and you can begin. Somebody needs to take the time and explain to them people why we all for put your shoulder to the wheel for run then two rascally parties there out of Australian politics. So me that the bigger picture me to look. Me not there against the people, APC, they against both of them. Both of them. Because none of them will do any good for the country. Everything we wait man left give we. Let somebody point me one thing where the watchman left for we. What would I improve? Now APC and SFPP run them everything, they've run everything aground. And we still insist say now we future this. Well, hey, we can accept it. I refuse to. Because I could see it clear that it's not going to solve the problem. But if we think say we are doomed, if we not get one of them party here for represent we shouldn't complain. The people that were the APC where they make all this noise now, when they kind of power, you just get a handful, like Baluku Kuruma, they one and they. And then few people and they will come benefit this, that, not do nothing for the country. Then everybody begin holler, Not till now you get people in SAPP where they be there on the side and they make a lot of noise. Now they're not to see the wrong. Not the same thing, but again, Mr. Arena, we can tell this go and come. It won't do much good. But let us see, let God be life. Let us see how this election will turn out. Let us see how the next one will turn out. And let us see somebody down the road walk by foot say, APC kind of power, SFP kind of power, and life so improve, it can buy car, it can send him picking and go college, but that is not going to happen. On that two party, your life will stay the same. That's a given. I'm so sorry. And that's the pessimism down in the reality to me, So, but before we run out of time, which we're almost there, we'll begin with that video where we'll be there talk say we will play. On the top of vigilante, with the top of vigilante justice, we see one situation involving a gentleman who was once in the United States with some Peking, where they meet and people and begin accuse him of child molestation and this and that, baselessly. So sometimes we need to bring that information to the public, why people should be careful, why people should be told that when they see a situation like that, instead of begin detain somebody and begin calling names, call the police. But you see, the problem we're gonna Salone, the politicians are just too busy redirecting the police their attention from solving crimes to engaging in politics. Otherwise, people enough they put their hand on anybody. It's a good thing. Then stop this man because they don't know that beat and say it and say and work out this one became on the rain and anybody will get in wits about and not go do that. But right there, then begin call a name, child molester and this kind of thing. So we want for bring that. Yeah, let's play that and let people learn for say.
Play that will happen. That's be good because that is a sad situation. That is a very sad situation. First of all, when you see the man, saying in something wrong, and people just label people just hate people. When I put out there, let them see.
Greensboro. Greensboro.
When you come to this country?
I don't there for a while.
While like duration?
3 months.
3 months. Where you picking up all this?
In the US.
The US?
Yes.
Are you sure about USA?
Of course.
Now the man this way was the type of kidnap this small picker. And the time he say he come to America, Greensboro, saying they hide in Greensboro. these are the child molester. Maybe they don't deport her from
Why you
America.
call me a child molester?
You wait, back and record on. You wait.
Okay.
This is a child, a young child. So that the whole villages, and now we take this picking out, they come on our station. This have already left, they come on our station. Okay? So that the man is, he said, come on America, that in picking this criminal here. I pass at a checkpoint, and they walk out this picking under the rain. So you don't carry it up and they talk about green ball, green this, green that. So the picking is here. So I made the whole world see a very young picking that the picking is. So I don't call officers them. These are one of the officers them, and that one of the officers, and this one the other officers. Okay? So they can for decide when they carry this man go to the station, who not left on the yard. So you what is that your name?
My name is
Abla Kakai. Who said that Sierra Leone here?
I didn't know Greensboro.
Stop fooling me. Who said you did that Sierra Leone here? I know Greensboro.
I did Greensboro.
I know. That's America. Who said that Sierra Leone here?
Who said in America? Yeah.
Stop fooling me. Who said in America here? Who said that Sierra Leone here?
I did Greensboro.
Stop it. Stop acting stupid.
I'm not acting stupid. Sir.
You are acting stupid. Where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in the U.S.
You are in the U.S.
Yes.
You are in the U.S.
Yes.
So do you want to molest this little child?
I'm not molesting her.
You are molesting her. I hope you have been deported for something like this.
No.
You are. You're talking about Greensboro. Do you know where Greensboro is?
Yes.
How old is this child?
She's 5 years old.
5 years old. So where are you heading right now?
I'm going to Greensboro.
On the highway?
Yes.
Greensboro. You are one of the fucking child molester. You are a child molester. Guess what? You're going to sleep in Seattle tonight. I'm going to lock your fucking ass up tonight.
Okay.
For this child. Okay?
Okay.
So I want you to understand that. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. It's a young child.
All right. And there is a follow-up video to this, but I want to comment very quickly.
The follow-up video of the family member. The family member.
But here's I want to put things in perspective before the follow-up is played.
Yeah.
Here is this guy where they insult this man. He do the honorable thing. He see the man in the Peking under rain. He says something all right. Something was abnormal. He confront them. He try for, I think in the best interest of the Peking, and this man not talk anything sensible. We on problem in Sierra Leone, we not get sympathy for the guy who look abnormal. And if people were not around, this man could have been beaten to death before they find out the truth. Now, let us just stop here. If the control room can play the follow-up video of the other person we call the condemned, the man will make this video. Instead of the same mistake. But instead of make the same mistake, because first of all, part of the narrative not look credible. That nephew did. Because he say this sick man, now he and the brother when at the minister of the Southern Province, current Southern Province Minister, Mr. Kakai. Now they all go to Dr. Banya. Yeah, he said they go to Dr. Banya because I want to analyze them for CC, credible. Then go to Dr. Banya. He left the Peking, and not to Dr. Banya, Dr. Yila Nabo. Well, this might be Bo District, but this not look like Bo Town. Dr. Yila in a clock tower right in the middle of Bo Town. So if we can play the follow-up video.
You don't fair now, wait, he say not get on boy. They're not the page, it's there.
Yeah, I think I sent it in too.
Yeah, it's there. I'll send it back to you.
And these pictures are the pictures of Mr. Kaikai. Now Mr. Kaikai this now pictures in the heydays now America when things were okay with him and wedding picture that one day. But the video where they try for let's see.
Sorry.
Yeah, let me see if I can search for I don't want to because I'm using my telephone.
Yeah, because people gotta see this. Okay, I don't see him. I put on back page again. Can you go look for it? I don't send them back now. The page. This is there because this is very, very important to see. It's very important because we first of all, we are, I don't know. We think, because according to the nephew, he's claiming that this other guy that is sick, and they don't get something or this before, and then this one where they Allah said this man a child molester, instead alone because he child molester. According to the nephew, he's a child molester himself. He's running away from the law in America because they want him for child molestation. So we don't know. And
hello everybody. When I see this man at this video, na my uncle. He is not a child molester. He is not a kidnapper. Neither was he deported from America. Like the way the person who do this video, they claim. Henry Kroma, they say when you point one finger at somebody, the remaining four all they point at you. You na the real child molester. Now he make you they point them to another person. This my uncle don't live all in life in America. If they can Salone and return, if they come and return. Now sick if they don't sick and then decide say for Brian come na Salone for come see if they will get medicine for an aya. Now Dr. Eli hospital then go so na clock tower. Him brother left out with him pikin na him brother and pikin that one day. Him brother na be resident minister na Bode. Because you know well, it just a waka. He begin go towards New London. Now New London, this man meets them. This Henry Kroma. Now New London, he meets them. Where he do this video, so I believe say he know this my uncle from America. Because this Henry Kroma don't live in America for 30 years. Now Boston, now they been there in the Oakland nursing home. And this my uncle be they go now Boston most often. Maybe they don't meet up a function, they see a union function or programs. And I believe say he gets something against him. Now he make where he know say the man know well now. He decide for do this. Where he just meet up and accidentally decide for tarnish the image like a way he do so. He forget say cyber law day. Henry Kroma, we are going to take action against you. This way you do so, you they go explain why you do them. As a matter of fact, you are the child molester because right now you don't run away in America, you didn't hide him. You didn't hide it, they run away from the MA legal system for violating and abusing young girl Pekin. And your boy Pekin then a state prison right now as they talk. Now America day. Now make you in a Salone. You are running away. And look at what you have gone to do against an innocent person. If they get up at that man, they beat and kill him for nothing. Whose God be for call? Why the hatredness so much in this country? This man is not a child molester. When I share this video.
Please, let me comment first on this case.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fatima, first of all, I disagree with this gentleman because when they accuse the other guy for now, the same thing himself do. He make wild allegations. He accused the other man, this other guy now who make the video of being a child molester. Even implicates the man in Pekin, where we all are responsible for Pekin and conduct. If the man in Pekin then in prison, if it is true, now you bring somebody name into the discussion where not available for defending himself. And two, the danger about what he did do so, it make anybody will see some abnormal situation for hesitate, for even try for intervene like how this other guy do. We all don't agree say now the man he do wrong to the extent that he begin call this man names. That was wrong. But he do what every responsible person in a society for do. When you see something unusual, when you see something abnormal, you see a man that walk out to Pekin on the rain, something not look right, and you're not able to give clear answer as to who that the Pekin be, and all that thing and they. That is the honorable thing for those call police. But for say in conduct is so outrageous as to justify this kind of accusation, I think this guy is wrong in my own view. He shouldn't be calling this man name. Then he talk about violation of cyber law. Now, the real fault, if we have to put fault, now the resident minister in poor judgment, because this man your brother sick mentally. You entrust the Pekin in care while you there inside with the doctor. Tell this man walk away with the Pekin, you don't get no clue. Shouldn't this resident minister, a minister, should have had better judgment than that, than to entrust the Pekin in the custody of a man like this? You know? Then it is said in New London now, and they go no sort of in Clinic Day, the clock tower. Now, you know, they go with New London. But what we see in the video look like a village setting. But even this is New London. We shouldn't go as far as calling this man a child molester, because he performed a civic duty by seeing something unusual and trying to get the authority involved. My own problem is we forget the vigilante just out of the hand. Yes, it's true. This man could have been beaten unnecessarily and killed or harmed. It's true. That's why we, for the encourage people that when you see them today, call the police. And I see officers, I'm a man of the police. But so I'm condemning the calling the man the victim or a child molester. That was wrong. But this guy took people wrong. This was more wrong. Acting as if this man would do something. He took it wrong. If this man had not stopped this person, this guy, who knows how far he would have taken this guy just get lost. And I know which side is the poor people will suffer. That's what I want. The minister ought to be ashamed.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, Mr. Shilon, in a way. But then when you look at it and you see all this thing when they go on social media with us, because Sierra Leone right now, even with that Musa Tombo go overseas, he cannot get mental issue, but people are not respecting mental. People know people have mental issue, and that man is sometimes have dementia and all that stuff he gets, and Alzheimer's and all that stuff, we remember too much. So, but this man, the way the guy will defend them, it don't look to me like crowd when they get out for beats the person. The way when he's supposed to this man with Fen explained, he explained with vengeance. He explained with, I know says Greensboro in America. He explained to me, I kind of believe a little bit what in the nephew say, that they knew each other in America, maybe something will don't happen, and he was kind of like, I will make them lock you up. You're not child molester. I know say Greensboro, na African ya usai de na Salone ya usai de and all that thing. And then the people, there was nobody talking in the background, but just him. So I kind of wonder again, say, was it really in a fair the picking? You just see the man they walk out, they just they can almost say, hey, look that man and that picking, then he just take over because he sabi the person. And because sometimes we have seen videos where people and they maliciously, they malign people that out there, the going on earlier. That they malicious malign people them and try for defense and shame people there. Well, this man, when you look and say, when you hear say the talk, you know, say he was even disoriented. You know, even outside he said at Greensboro. Now, they if you don't know, right there say somebody went on the 20 in America at least they work in a nursing home. If you don't say all the people in the dementia and all that thing, whether they confuse and what they call themselves. So, in for no better than the way he behaved to me because he was shaming the person. You know.
We don't know as a fact that you were this guy, this second video guy. There is a lot of
I'm not saying that's a fact. I say I kind of go to the side of the nephew, thinking like you know him because my own suspicion is looking like it was so malicious.
If in a court of law, they're not go that statement will be objectionable. Because now assumption is not part of the facts as we see them. He assumes say this man is uncle. He assumes say he get vendetta against them. But it's all assumption, not the facts. The facts are what you will see in the video. That I will forgo by. We can't assume because you know.
It's another assumption. But in the court of public opinion, sir, when you even pick you drew on them. You drew it and they go with preconceived notion already by waiting the year or see. Then they'll tell you say this, that, because the perception to us is reality. In any kind of way, we get forget to the facts and the bottom and the truth. Yes, that's true. But that's why I say I kind of sympathize with this man here. He looks lost, he looks disoriented, he looks thing, and as a man, what because he said, oh, walk now, America, if one knows that all people there cannot know most of them, get in kind of behavior, yeah, we're disoriented, not even know side we lost just the waka and just go astray and all that kind of thing. That's all I'm just saying. But in the court of law, yes, sir, you are right. But in the court of public opinion, that's what I mean. Go sir and
But you don't think
but
so?
yeah.
You don't think so? The minister exercise court judgment.
Yeah, the
First of all,
minister should have known
I don't
better.
want to believe. I don't want to
Yeah,
believe that
he should have known. He should have known better. The minister, the person with the sane mind will get sanity and good health. If we're not saying, I cannot let this begin because this man most likely not to the first side don't demonstrate this because a lot of time now that they put like monitor up and then older people they here in America, they just open their houses and they go, then they put alarm, then they put like dog tag for them, we go show their location, then they go lost, then they don't go astray, then begin waka. So maybe not to the first time this don't do, maybe they don't even know what's wrong with him in Sierra Leone. Then put on America, we get all the medicine now, sometimes a country medicine, and they go fend for. Because sometimes I don't feel saying a witch man, I'm just assuming again, this is just from all the gardening and stuff and so. Sometimes I don't feel saying I make them go for medicine for a country medicine. But sometimes Alzheimer's or sometimes dementia, sometimes other kind of sick, waiting and concept. We don't cause a plaque in our brain and all that stuff, where they cause them behaving. But because we don't know about it, we don't understand about it, we always blame the witch people, on the whatever. So maybe they don't get a camp, but they should have known better. He should have known better. The minister should have known better. Say, this man here so not well, and I will left small picking. The picking will just fall around because the picking will not they fall around. They go, you know, no side they go. The picking, anything could have happened. Thank God they fan him. Thank God they wouldn't call him. But the video with this other money make now, he want to get all the credit. People want to get the credit. People want to get the praise. People want to be noticed. So they do all kind of videos. They do all kind of videos to try to damage other people. That's all I'm saying. That we therefore be very careful. Just like the video that when they go around now, where Musa Tumbo make. Musa Tumbo is this Sierra Leone footballer. We don't get like so many opportunities. He go overseas, say the place cold. He come back in Africa. He say he go die. He go back now. They say go South Africa and Saudi Arabia or Libya. They go here now. He say in the year he gunshot. He call him where for go. People and they make jokes. Mental health is serious. I don't know if you remember David Chappelle, Mr. Shilon. David Chappelle, a comedian. They gave him millions of dollars. He walked away from millions of dollars. All man feels nothing do him. He said he get for taking care of himself. He goes South Africa, he go to Kenya, whatever, Ethiopia, whatever he goes.
South Africa.
Yes, he go heal himself, he come back. So people be thinking about money. Not a think of the person insanity. We're all making jokes about it. It is not funny. This guy needs help. Musa Tombo needs help. So do these people. Mental health, Sierra Leone people take and serious that mental health is real. Or I guess we're not serious. Then they make fun and they joke and they laugh and all that kind of thing. Because the guy said they hallucinate, they get hallucination. It's schizophrenic. Maybe it's a schizophrenia. We don't know. So I mean, apart from that, they say we end the show because we don't go over 2 hours. And till next week, come again. We say thank you all for watching. Mr. Shilo, you will get the last one. But like I can say, it is time to vote. It is time to go register for vote for October 3rd. So October 2nd. So people then get out there and be patient. Go out there to vote. Your vote is your life. Your vote is your voice. Your vote will bring the change that you want. So for go register. And waiting on Borg, let them try fix a neck, get for fix a. Me say shame on neck. Shame on neck for not doing the things that they're supposed to do, for not being prepared. They're not prepared. They're not prepared. These people are being paid. And then a civil servant, then we money them, then they take for pay them. Then they get paid when the teacher or they teach the picking pay. Then they pay when they know they get paid. Then they get with the soldier man and the policeman, they know they get paid. Let them do their work. Let me hold them for let them do their work right. Do their work according to standard. Do their work for let them what they call. If 2,000 computer but 3,000 and something location, how will I go register for it? Is that fair? So Salone will get for change. We get for change. With mentality, we get for change. Because we take down the barriers, we take down the identification, we take out the sin for bring the change. If not, we will not, Mr. Shilon say we are optimistic. We try to be optimistic, but yet realistic too. We are realists too. I'm a realist, I'm optimistic, I get hope, but there are things when we look and say, Lord, this one here is going to kill me. I'm tired of it. So till next week, I salute you now. If I dey shine, not jealous me or go work on you. Say tomorrow the sun will shine over you, the cloud dey over me. Till next week, I love you now all. And remember, God is love. Go give kind words. Let we practice love, man. Let we stop the hate. We get things that we're better, we're bigger, where we all live together than waiting to share us apart. So till next week, I love you now. Fadima, Mr. Shilon, please.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fadima. I appreciate your presence as always. Thank you very much, audience, for listening. And so please, let's meet next week under the same conditions, same time, and hope we bring very important information to our own and we appreciate. So until then, see you guys next week. Take care.
Staying alive.